Hey there, Eli coming at you again in front of the beautiful new planted tank that you guys have watched the progress of. I was here today just to give you guys a little bit of an update on how things are going in this tank. So as you can see behind me, we're already starting to get a good amount of growth. A lot of these stem plants are already probably have 2 or 3 inches of growth on it. And that really just goes to show you the power of CO2 in a planted aquarium and keeping parameters nice and stable. A lot of these stem plants are going to grow pretty quickly for you if they're given the right conditions, and it seems like everything is pretty happy in here so far. As you can probably tell too, this tank has gotten pretty busy. I've added a handful of different fish that you probably haven't seen in here yet. One of my favorites are these beautiful little albino silvertip tetras, but I've added a whole bunch of different schools of tetras. There are Colombian redfins, which should give a nice pop of blue once they get a little more mature. There's a good number of diamond tetras in this tank now as well. Some brilliant rasboras, calypso tetras, and a couple other fish as well. For the sake of stocking density, I don't want to go too crazy with this tank, but I do plan on adding maybe a couple more fish, especially a few more angelfish. I feel like those would add a really cool presence. Might add a couple different varieties in addition to the silver angels that are already in here. And I probably will add a few more algae eaters as well. This tank does have those Siamese algae eaters that have been going to town, keeping the leaves clean for me, making sure I don't run into any hair algae. And there's also a pair of lemon blue-eyed bushy nose in this tank as well. That should help to keep these leaves and the wood nice and clean for me. As you might be able to notice, I am running into a little bit of diatoms on some of these leaves and a little bit of green algae. I'm mostly going to attribute this to the new sand. I believe that there's probably a little more silica in this water, so the diatoms are getting a chance to bloom. However, within a few weeks' time, and if I keep my dosing regimen pretty stable, I think that we should be over this hump pretty quickly. And as you may have seen already, Stacy so graciously desludged these AI primes for me over this tank, so we don't have to run into overheating issues. If that video is something you haven't checked out yet, definitely worth checking out if you have AI primes over your tank. And as for equipment, all the Dimax regulator and the check valves and diffuser that I throw on this tank is all working beautifully. I've had no issues so far with that. I'm still getting a very consistent dosage of CO2, probably about 7 or 8 bubbles per second going into this tank, and that's been keeping me at a very good level to make sure that these plants are thriving. So far, so good with all these new products on the tank, and everything is looking well to show for it. Thank you guys for tuning in to this quick little update on how the planted tank is doing. I do plan on giving you guys maybe another update down the road too, especially once it gets time to start trimming some of these plants back. You might be able to get a cool little demo on how we can keep our plants trimmed. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have questions or suggestions for future videos, and keep it fishy.